up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And Carrie.
Hey, what's up?
Let's start. Well, actually, you know what? Before we get into the podcast, Carrie.
Yes.
Since you're back for the first time in a while.
I am.
We have gotten to pimp your extra live stream at the end of the podcast every week. But why don't you, since it's the last chance for people to donate, why don't you talk about it up top?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. So this is the 6th year that I've done Extra Life. So I'm streaming this Saturday. I will be streaming Pokemon Crystal, which is my favorite of any of the Pokemon games. Really excited. I love doing Extra Life. They're meant to be 24-hour streams. For me, it's usually like I'll start at 10 a.m. and we'll see how far I go. But usually with a Pokemon stream, that generally means I get through like the main story. I get all 8 badges and defeat the Elite Four and so on and so forth. But a lot of our listeners have donated already. So that's super awesome. Very kind of you. Right now, I set my goal at 500, currently sitting at 415, which is, again, just awesome. Over the last 5 years that I've done this, I have so far raised $2,905 for the Johns Hopkins Children's Center in Baltimore. And honestly, this year with things being how they are, these kids' hospitals kind of need the assistance kind of more than ever. Everything's tax deductible. So if you're into doing that, that's great. But other than that, I mean, even if you can't donate, feel free to tune in on my Twitch on Saturday. I'll be starting at 10. And right now, it looks like I will be starting with a Totodile named after Andrew McCutcheon.
I take it one of your Pennsylvania-based friends donated heavily.
Yeah, my good buddy Sean threw $100 at this, and yeah, I mean, he was responsible for a few years ago when I ran Crystal for Extra Life that I had to play with a bay leaf named after some other Phillies player. I can't even remember at this point. He just knows that I don't like the Phillies, so he makes me do this when I have these Pokemon runs.
And you can find a link to Carrie's Extra Life page in the show notes or on densepixels.com/fans, and as well as a link to her Twitter page on the show notes as well. While we're here, so again, I continue to be somewhat annoyed that Nintendo keeps referring to the Hyrule Warriors game that's coming out as a Breath of the Wild prequel, though I know that it is in terms of the story. It just bugs me because it's a Hyrule Warriors game. It's not a Zelda game.
Yeah.
But you've been playing the demo.
I did, yeah. I've put a decent amount of time into the demo at this point. You get 3 characters in the demo. You start with Link, of course, and then you get access to both Impa and Zelda. And it is a lot of fun. I am not the biggest fan of Musou games in general. They've just never really been my thing. And I wasn't even huge into the first Hyrule Warriors. But this being what it is, its direct ties to Breath of the Wild, I'm fully in. Playing as Impa and playing as Zelda is super, super fun. And all of the experience and whatnot you gain in the demo will carry on into the full version of the game when it releases in just a couple weeks now. So
is it coming out this year?
Yeah, it's coming out this month.
Damn. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Very good. Before we get into Micah's thoughts on Watch Dogs Legion, I've been playing more Risk of Rain 2 and Dead Cells. More to say more about Risk of Rain, because I finally unlocked some extra characters, and boy, does that change how that game plays pretty significantly. Like the characters. So the general character you start out with is a commando class, which is a very, very general, like run and shoot and slide and shoot things harder kind of class, just to kind of teach you the ropes. But then the second class you unlock is like this robot that moves very slowly, except he has a sprint button that lets you barrel into enemies, causing them damage. He has a primary and secondary attack that you can switch in between. One of them is like a machine gun. The other one's like a single shot that's much more powerful but takes longer to reload. He's a lot of fun to play with. I was like melting bosses playing as him early on, which is really fun. He also has my longest run into the game. I think I made it to the 4th stage with him. There's 5 total before you fight an end boss, or you can, instead of fighting the end boss, you can loop back around to the beginning again as it goes. So that he was a lot of fun. And then there's a Huntress that I unlocked, which again also plays incredibly differently. She's like a glass cannon, but she has like incredibly quick movement speed. She has like an arrow storm that she can use. She has seeking arrows so that you can strafe and not really have to worry about aiming so much. You can just kind of like, it locks on to any targets that are in your general field of view. But again, she's very difficult to play with because she does not have a lot of health and is not exactly going to stand up to going toe to toe with like a boss creature, especially, and stuff like that. So game's really cool. Again, if you're looking for something fun to play, that's a little bit different, a little bit off the beaten path. I definitely recommend checking out Risk of Rain 2. It's pretty difficult. It's not an easy game, but it is still a fun game to kind of get the hang of. And I'd say, but out of the two, between that and Dead Cells, I've probably been enjoying Risk of Rain 2 a smidge more. But Dead Cells just works better for like as a lunch break game. You know, you can get 1 or 2 runs in while you're eating lunch. Micah, you have been playing Watch Dogs Legion, which I've heard mixed reviews about from folks out in the community.
It's not bad. I'm enjoying it. I haven't really kind of taken a big dive into the story because like the gimmick of the game is that let me read the setting from Wikipedia. Watch Dogs Legion takes place in a fictionalized representation of a near future London circa late 2020s, early 2030s. This game from the company that does not like to make political statements in their games it focuses on a hacker group called Antifa. DedSec, a hacker group consisting of various branches across the world that utilize technology to defeat their enemies. Albion, a private military corporation who has taken over the police, not political at all, and a criminal syndicate. It's I can't really speak too much on the story, although they do have I like open world games, right? And the first thing I did, because I've been to London once, the first thing I did was I went to go see if I could find the hotel that we stayed in. And we did, and it's actually a hotel, like in the game, which is kind of cool. They also have very uniquely colored black and white signs about, like freeing Londoners from an oppressive police state. Look, Black Lives Matter doesn't own the colors black and white, but it's just funny. It's just funny. And we see people, uniformed officers. I mean, they're not the London police. They are apparently too incompetent. They have been taken over by these other uniformed officers harassing people in the streets.
Are they wearing identification or no? Like, it's not clear.
Some of them are.
Oh, neat. Okay. In
this game, political, not really. Anyway, it's the story. I haven't really been able to get into it because I've been doing what they call recruitment missions. So the gimmick with this game is that you can recruit pretty much any NPC you see walking around. And some people are, it's just like real life, right? There some people are pretty good. Some people aren't worth recruiting at all. Like, I hate to be ageist, but see an old man walking, you can recruit him if you want, but he has no appreciable skills, right? Like, they say, okay, here's a positive thing, here's a negative thing. Positive thing, he's a really nice guy, right? And then the negative thing, he has low mobility because he's an old guy, right? And then some people just have like spray cans, right? But then there are, the select few that are really, really good, right? One of them's a super spy because it's London. So, spies. And but you can recruit anybody. And that's what I've been kind of doing, is just finding people that I think might have appreciable skills and recruiting them. The thing I like about this series is the techromancy of it, right? Like, everyone has a magic cell phone that allows them to pretty much do anything, right?
You would think that the fascist paramilitary organization would have made sure to confiscate all the magic phones, but I guess they could.
You would think, but apparently not. Phones can hack into doors, hack into cars, hack into the drones, the automated drones that the police state have. They can hack into the Amazon drones the Parcel Fox drones that they have. The thing about this game is, like, every encounter is like a puzzle, and you can use the tools at your disposal and the tools that and the inherent traits that the person that you are currently playing has in order to try and infiltrate certain buildings or get certain information or complete certain missions and stuff like that, right? And I really like that. It's a fun game to play. It looks, it don't look that great to me. And I think it's the art style. The lip syncing is off. It's like a millisecond off. But when lip syncing is off,
it's enough. Like, when it's off by just a little bit, it's enough to make you feel queasy watching it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's exactly what happens here. Load times are, you can switch to any person at any time once you've recruited them, but it has to load that character, which kind of,
until you get a PS5, Micah.
Apparently. So it's an okay game. Like I said, I don't really have too much to say about it right now. If this game grabs me, and hooks me like Ghost of Tsushima did, or like Hades did, I'll talk more about it. But if you're not like a fan, you can kind of hold off until this goes on sale. And if you are a fan, you probably already have it. And it's an okay game. It's a solid game.
It's funny. It's funny because I hear that the ability to recruit anyone, most people say it's both the best and worst thing about the game, because it's cool that you can do it and it gives you like a personal sense of attachment to your team, but at the same time, since there's no central character driving the narrative, it kind of is hollow in that sense.
Like, I find myself using one particular person,
right,
and or I bounce around between like 2 or 3 of them, right? Like, I have a guy who is good at stealth. He's my like main guy. The construction worker is my main person because she is incredibly overpowered, right? She can call a drone that you can jump on and go anywhere with. And she hits people over the head with a wrench, and she's Jamaican. So it's weird, right? Because there's like thousands of lines of dialogue, but the way that they but they don't have thousands of actors, right, to play all these people. So they just they use voice modulation to modulate different voices. Sometimes it works and sometimes it really doesn't work. When you get Jamaicans that sound like robots, like, that's not, it doesn't work. But blimey, like, all right, that doesn't work. But
I don't love that.
But it's a cool gimmick, but I would prefer a central character to play around.
So PlayStation bringing the heat for November when it comes to PlayStation Plus. There's a lot to go over here. First of all, on PS4, you get Shadow of War, the sequel to Shadow of Mordor. A good game we've talked about on the show before. You also get Hollow Knight, Voidheart Edition, a game that I was not a fan of, but I'm in the minority in that camp. Hollow Knight is considered by most to be very good if you like Metroid-style games. It's also very pretty. It's got like a gothic art style to it. Pretty cool. Those are both free on PS4. They're playable on PS5 when PS5 comes out. And then we found out that on PS5, on launch day, if you have PlayStation Plus, you're going to get Bug Snacks for free. I'm actually a little excited about this. I'm a little curious about Bug Snacks. I was considering buying it when the PS5 came out.
I have some inside info from a friend of mine who already has a PS5.
Yeah.
And for review purposes, who said that Bug Snacks is, quote, super fucking cute, and he thinks it will be a big time cult hit. Probably not mainstream, but good enough to have a solid fan base build up around it.
So what you're telling me is a game that is going to be a great game to get for free. And
yeah,
you feel like you got your money's worth out of a free game. So
yep.
So that's available. Notable, though, that the PS4 version of Bug Snacks is not going to be available for free. This is a PS5 exclusive deal. They've also revealed the games that are going to be available as the part of the PlayStation Plus collection. Now, for those of you that have not been following on the podcast, PlayStation Plus collection is going to be 20 games that are offered to PS5 buyers for free.
Yeah.
As long as you have PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Here's the list.
A lot of good games.
A lot of great games. We're going to start with the Sony exclusive games first. You have Bloodborne, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Infamous Second Son, Ratchet and Clank, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us Remastered, Part 1, Until Dawn, and Uncharted 4. Now, we thought that would be the majority of what it was. We figured they'd be PlayStation exclusives. Au contraire.
No, it's like 50-50. Exactly.
There's 10 more third-party games that you get for free as well. Here are those games. Batman Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition, Monster Hunter World, Mortal Kombat 10, Persona 5, and Resident Evil 7. And you get this just by getting a PS5 and signing up for PlayStation Plus, which if you're getting a PS5, chances are pretty good.
Yeah.
That's already PlayStation Plus subscriber.
Look, by getting this collection, you're getting two of what I would say are easily the top 5 games of this generation in Monster Hunter World and Persona 5. Yeah. By the way, if you get this and like you haven't played Persona 5 yet, and then you don't play Persona 5 when they're giving it to you for free, never speak to me again.
I feel like you're calling me and partially Micah to the canvas here.
I've played Persona 5. I haven't finished Persona 5.
Yeah.
Persona 5 is like, it feels like it's going to be like 100 hours.
It is. It's like 80 to 100 hours. I finished it in like 60.
I was really getting into it, man.
Yeah.
I was really getting into
good.
it.
It is long.
I'm just saying, we're getting the Royal Edition of Final Fantasy 15. You couldn't spring for the Royal of Persona 5? Just saying.
I mean, that's a fair point. I don't know. I wonder if it was just like too close to
possible
the release date.
That's
because Persona 5 Royal came out less than a year ago. So
that's a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
Great way to, like I said, while the lineup for PS5 is a little threadbare, a great way to catch up. Because again, most of the games here are like, especially on the Sony exclusive side, with a few exceptions, are like the tentpole games of the generation for PlayStation. You're not missing much.
You're missing God of War.
Not even. God of War's on the list.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you're missing Ghost of Tsushima. Right. You're missing Last of Us Part 2. That's pretty much it.
Yep.
As far as Sony stuff goes. Hell of a deal. So like I said, if you're getting a PS5, make sure you claim your PlayStation Plus collection games. And like I said, it'll give you something to do during the downtimes. Games with Gold has been announced for November as well.
Games with Gold sounds like the Price is Right losing horn after that.
I mean, well,
lineup.
Carrie, I feel like you're judging him too harshly. You don't even know what's going to be in the mix here. So let's see what we got. So starting on November 1st, and now again, I have to remind you that this is the Games with Gold that's debuting the Xbox One series consoles. Starting November 1st through November 30th, you can download Origami Shadow Edition for the Xbox One.
Sure.
That's not a bad game, but it's not a bad game.
Well, Micah,
it's not Persona 5.
no,
But
it's not that, but don't fret, Micah, because starting on November 16th and through December 15th, you can download the multiplayer underwater shooter Swim Sanity for the Xbox One. What a Swim Sane deal. Swim Sanity for free. Also downloadable from the 1st through the 15th, the original Xbox classic Full Spectrum Warrior, available for free with your Games with Gold.
It's what the people demanded is Full Spectrum Warrior.
They pounded their fist on the table and said, I want Full Spectrum Warrior to come out right now. And then November 16th through 30th, you get Lego Indiana Jones 1 for free on Xbox 360 as well. A game that was packed in with many a 360 console back in the day.
Yeah, it was
Panda.
It's not even like the Last Crusade, Lego Last Crusade.
Micah, I feel like you're shitting on the offerings that Microsoft's giving here. I'll have you know that the games listed in this deal have an $84.96 value.
Oh, according to who?
According to Microsoft. And Micah, you can get 3,000 gamer score from these games.
Ooh. I remember when people cared about gamer score. It was about the time that Indiana Jones Lego first came out. People last cared about gamer score.
So there you go. So if you're an Xbox Live Gold subscriber or a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber,
ooh,
what a
remarkable deal you're getting.
Act soon to make sure that you get Slayaway Camp Butcher's Cut, Maid of Skura, and Costume Quest, which are going away soon. On the Xbox One console.
Jesus.
Oh, coming out of the gate strong, I got to tell you. More new releases. Bakugan Champions of Estroya comes to the Nintendo Switch. Dirt 5 comes to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered comes to PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Didn't they already remaster Hot Pursuit?
No, not Hot Pursuit. They did. Or you might be conflating it with the Burnout Paradise.
No, they did. The original Hot Pursuit was Need for Speed 3. And then they came out with Need for Speed Hot Pursuit again in 2010, and that's what I'm thinking of.
No, that was not a remaster. That was a new game.
It was a new Hot Pursuit. So this is a remaster of the 2010 game.
Which is arguably, of the modern Need for Speeds, I would say the best.
Probably one of the better entries. Yeah. I just remember working at GameStop when Hot Pursuit came out.
Yes, it's a good time.
Yeah.
Tropica 6 comes to Nintendo Switch, and then Paw Patrol Mighty Pups Save Adventure Bay comes to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
Here's a fun Tropico fact for you. Lou Bega of Mambo No. 5 fame is a playable dictator in that franchise.
What?
Yo, what?
Is like the director of the game a close personal friend with Lou Bega? That's the only way that I could foresee that being how that would have come about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lou Bega, he was included as part of a licensing deal that saw Bega's song Club Elite. I don't know.
That'd be the one that anybody wants.
Yeah, that saw Bega's song integrated into the German release of Tropico.
What? So bizarre.
Yeah, everything about that story just
live, laugh, Lou Bega, baby.
I hope that if Lou Bega is your dictator in that game, everything that you purchase is preceded with a little bit of, and then the item listed that it is. the only appropriate way to do that.
Jesus
A
Christ.
little bit of communism.
Brought the strong show title contender.
Go to YouTube. I don't know how to move from that. I'm not
Okay,
Brad. I
okay.
can't transition from that to this. So go to youtube.com/densepixels and subscribe. Click the bell notification icon to be notified of all the happenings. You can subscribe to the TMP Studios podcast wherever you get your podcasts, including the Nerdpocalypse, Black on Black Cinema, Coming Distractions, and the weekly preview episode of Look Forward. Go to densepixels.com/premium, and for $5 a month or $50 a year, you get access to the premium slate of podcast content, including the airing of grievances, No Time to Bleed, The Men with the Golden Tongues, Upstage Conversation, and 4 episodes of the Look Forward Political Podcast. Just a straight read today.
All right, fair.
Latest episode of Upstage just dropped. So
Did Sweeney Todd, correct?
yes,
Yeah.
Jay and I watched Sweeney Todd, featuring Johnny Depp doing his best Jack White impression.
Always wanted to watch that movie.
And probably a good time to put in, if you guys are listening to this podcast on the day of release, Jay and I, and possibly Andy sporadically, are live streaming election coverage. So we can either see, join us to either see the restoration of democracy or the circling the drain of America. If you want to get information on how to join us for the live stream, make sure you join the Look Forward fan group, lookforwardshow.com/fans, or follow us on Twitter and DM the Look Forward Twitter account for more information. People are trash. We know this. It's something that's been a theme of the show for the nearly 8 years that we have been doing it. Apparently, some people are very upset about the latest Cyberpunk delay. Of course, we talked about it last week. Delayed by 3 weeks. We had some fun at the expense of the Cyberpunk developers. But one thing we did not do was threaten their lives. But apparently some people, because they can't act like human adults, have levied death threats against people that work at CD Projekt Red just for delaying the game. Senior game designer Andrei Zawatsky had to take to Twitter to try to calm fans down. He said, quote, "I understand you're feeling angry, disappointed, and want to voice your opinion about it," being the Cyberpunk delay. "However, sending death threats to the developers is absolutely unacceptable and just wrong. We are people just like you." I don't understand why people continue doing this. I also don't understand why you'd be threatening the developers. Like if you were mad at anybody,
Right.
I would think that like management would be
Right.
you're upset with.
I think people should be upset with management anyway, given everything that we know about CD Projekt Red's crunch culture as far as this game is concerned, and as far as all of their other games have been concerned as well. Yeah, the whole thing about this game's development is that it feels like it's been in crunch this entire year. And they probably shouldn't have set the release date when they did. Maybe they should have finished their fucking game before setting a release date.
But
Just
again,
a thought.
but like as we've talked about before, that's not a feasible thing to do.
No, I mean,
especially for a company that's a publicly traded company.
no, that's also true. It just, I feel like all sides of this equation are less than acceptable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like CD Projekt Red's culture of crunch. I don't like the entitled baby men fans of theirs who think that they get to snap their fingers and make a video game happen. Yeah, I don't love it. They don't deserve death threats over it, but I think this constant like, oh, we're gonna push things back a little bit. Okay, well, we need a little bit more time, or 3 more weeks. It's such a very obvious symptom of mismanagement as far as how this game's development has gone. So I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't I mean, I guess if I have to place blame at anybody, it'll be the death threat people. Like the death
Yeah,
threat
I
people.
mean,
Like, come on, yo. Like, what are you
in this
doing?
situation, like they are the biggest assholes for sure.
Right. Like, I don't give a fuck how many times you delay your game, yo. Like, you aren't entitled to anything, man. Yeah, no one's entitled to anything in this world, man. And there are very, very few people that deserve death threats. and the people that make the product that you are going to consume is not one of them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to kill you if you don't hurry up and give me the thing that I. And
Right, that doesn't make any fucking sense either, right?
Like,
oh, you better watch yourself. This game doesn't come out, or what?
Or
like,
what?
What are you gonna do? You're still not gonna have your fucking game,
right? Like people aren't thinking through these things, man. Is it pre-order culture? Also, well, one, it's just regular human nature, right? Like let's just. I completely understand that, right? I have been the person screaming from the mountaintops that not everybody deserves a platform, and I know how ironic that sounds. But at the same time, is it pre-order culture, right? Like when you pre-order a game, you quote unquote bought it or whatever, and with the promise of a release date being this day, and then people just flip out. Like I understand not getting something when you thought you were going to get it, especially in this case where these people are like, it'll come out in April, it'll come out in November, it'll come out in April, it'll come out in September, it'll come out in November, it'll come out in December, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to throw a bucket of water on that sentiment, because you and I especially have a directly relatable thing that we can go to, because No Time to Die was originally slated to come out in April of this year, and they had to bump it back to November because of COVID, and they bumped it back again to next April. And the difference between No Time to Die and fucking Cyberpunk, No Time to Die is in the fucking can.
Right, No Time to Die is finished.
They can release the movie literally whenever they want to. They're only moving it for financial considerations, because you want to make sure that it has the biggest release possible.
Yeah.
Do you see me and Micah threatening death to the Broccoli family? And
right.
Fucking Sony.
You better watch your ass, Michael G. Wilson. You better fucking watch it, bro.
Like, we're disappointed. Like, no one's saying you can't be disappointed about the fact that the date for the game keeps moving, but act like a fucking grown up. Like,
right. I think to a point, like the thing that people seem to take the most issue with is that, like, CD Projekt Red's like fucking like social media front said in October, oh, no further delays.
Right. Like, and that is an absolute thing that you can hit them on and hold them accountable to.
Right. I think that's sort of where the line is, right? It's like, hold them accountable for publicly saying, hey, we're not going to have any more delays, and then like 48 hours later being like, we're delaying the game another 3 weeks.
Right.
But like, just fucking, you got to draw the line at fucking death threats. Like, well, and again, it's so fucking stupid, because one, no, you're not going to go to this person's house and beat them half to death over a fucking video game. You're just mad online about it.
I don't know. I mean, I hate to cut you off, but like we did a story a couple of weeks ago where some guy threatened some YouTuber and went to his house and looking for a fight or whatever. Like, so I don't put anything past anybody. I 90% agree. I 99% agree with you.
No, there's always going to be the one fucking lunatic that takes it too far.
Right.
But here's the thing. So if you want to hold them accountable, you can do what a lot of people did, and that is sell off their fucking stock, because their market price, again, CD Projekt Red, a publicly traded company, fell 25% in the wake of the stories about long 6-day work weeks and the constant delays to the game.
Yeah.
The company
That's a big drop.
That's a significant fucking drop. It's a significant fucking drop.
Mm-hmm.
They went from a peak of 7.4 billion pounds, which is $9.6 billion in August. And now and shares were selling for about $116 a piece. Now share price has tumbled down to $85 for CD Projekt Red because a lot of people, with the mismanagement, with all the stories that are going on, it's like, I don't see the stock appreciating, and they fucking bailed.
Right. Especially after fucking CEO went in front of stockholders and was like, crunch isn't that bad, and our employees actually enjoy it. Well, their employees have been working mandatory 6 days a week for the last 2.5 months or something like that to get this game finished. And then, of course, the CEO then had to send an email to staff being like, that was demeaning of me and I shouldn't have said it. Like, no shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But we like CD Projekt. Like that's because
here's the thing. Like I liked The Witcher 3. I didn't finish it, and I haven't pre-ordered Cyberpunk because I don't love the company culture. Like that's a game that I'm like, if I buy it at all, I am going to wait until it is on like fucking half off kind of sale. Because for me, it's like, I hate the culture. I hate the crunch culture. I hate reading what I keep reading online from current and former employees at CD Projekt Red, where they're like, we're fucking miserable. We're miserable. All day long, we're miserable. And we're here 6 days a week trying to get this game out. And nobody appreciates it.
Right.
Like,
and again, if it upsets you that much as a consumer, your choices are to not buy it or to buy it. Those are the two choices you have. And if you're that displeased with it, then by all means don't buy the game. Unfortunately, that also kind of invalidates all the hard work that the people that are suffering the crunch does. But that's your prerogative as a consumer.
I'm on this guy's Twitter, and he shows some of the, as he calls it, mildest messages that some of them got. I know where you live, bro. Release the game, or you're YOUR finished. Release Cyberpunk, or you and your family will be persecuted. Is that how you spell persecuted?
I don't. Considering the guy doesn't know what persecuted means.
I will burn you alive if you don't release the game. This is come on, come on. Like, what do you get out of this? Like,
misguided catharsis. That's about it.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Jesus Christ.
And again, it just goes to the fact that we forget, or we just don't give a shit because you're a fucking sociopath. But you forget that there's human beings on the other side of these fucking vessels. Again, no one's saying you shouldn't be disappointed. We were all disappointed when we heard the news, or at least Mike and I were, because we plan on buying that game and enjoying it. But that's as far as you could take it. And again, if it upsets you that much, vote with your wallet. Vote with your investment money if you happen to be investing in the Polish stock market, and then go from there. But again, it's just ridiculous that we continue to have stories like this persisting. It drives me insane. We are lucky that game developers have such a passion for game development, because no one in their right fucking mind should want to work in this industry. I swear.
No. Yeah.
Speaking of delays, Ubisoft, probably not surprising anybody, has delayed Far Cry 6 and Rainbow Six Quarantine past April of next year. They have not announced release dates for either, but considering that Ubisoft has been delaying pretty much every game that's in their catalog, probably due very much to COVID situations and also, company culture and upheaval as far as personnel goes, this should not come as a surprise to anybody. You got to imagine their cynical marketing people are really upset, though, that Rainbow Six Quarantine has been delayed during current events.
It'd be like that.
They would be, trust me.
Yeah.
With the PlayStation 4 console just less than a fortnight away, no pun intended, nearly 114 million PlayStation 4 systems have shipped, according to Sony, therefore officially making it the second most successful game console of all time, behind only the PlayStation 2. Very impressive number. So, and speaking of the PS4, Jim Ryan, the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, says that the PS4 will be supported through 2022. It's about in line with most consoles, I think, as far as dovetailing software support.
For few years,
right?
Sure.
That's about all it needs.
Yep.
Nintendo stealth dropped a Nintendo Direct that was exclusively focused on third parties. We'll just
their partner showcase. Yes.
Yeah, we're just gonna run through it real quick. Carrie talked about the Hyrule Warriors demo, which was made available as a result of this. Hitman 3 and Control are both coming to the Nintendo Switch, but very interestingly, they're available through Cloud Play. You're not going to play them natively on the system. You have to stream them through the cloud, which is a very interesting way to handle some higher resource games for the system. So be curious to see how that goes. No More Heroes 1 and 2 are now available on the Nintendo Switch, and in anticipation of the third one coming next year. They also talked about Bravely Default 2, which got its release date moved back a little bit to February 26th of next year.
Yeah, I won't be buying that day one. Bravely, like the original Bravely Default, remains, I think, one of my all-time greatest gaming disappointments.
Yo, you are not lying.
That game was so fucking disrespectful of the player's time. Period.
Yo, I didn't know what was going on. Like, I thought I was taking crazy pills.
Yeah.
And the fact that game is just like,
it's artificially inflated by about 50% in terms of the game length, and it didn't have to be. And
now I hear both of you upset about this, and it feels like what you're leaning towards doing is not buying Bravely Default 2.
Well, here's the thing. There's a demo available of Bravely Default 2.
Yeah, I ain't say all that.
Well, I was going to say, have you considered, since you are going to buy the game, have you considered sending the developers of Bravely Default death threats to voice your
No.
No, good. Well, I feel like that's a plus. There's a new Story of Seasons game, Pioneers of Olive Town, which is coming 23rd of March in 2021. As Carrie is quick to remind you, Story of Seasons, the real Harvest Moon.
Yeah, Story of Seasons is the real Bokujo Monogatari. It's interesting. I have been largely disappointed with the Story of Seasons games for about the last 5 years. I don't really think many of them have been particularly high quality. It kind of feels like they've been just sort of mailing it in. But we'll see. I did think this looked a little better than some other recent releases, so I'll have to see what reviews are like.
They also showed a post-apocalyptic survival adventure game called Surviving the Aftermath, which is coming next spring. And exciting news for me, Griftlands, a deck-building roguelike game that has been getting some buzz on Steam, is coming to the Nintendo Switch next summer. I'd really like to play that game, but it is not available for Mac, so I remain disappointed to be able to do that. So that was your third-party direct. Halo Infinite's director has departed 343 Studios, but he is still with Microsoft. Chris Lee has decided to leave the development studio. Basically, Joe Staten, who was the formerly of Bungie, came in to help the campaign, and then Pierre Hintz brought in to help the multiplayer of the game. But Chris Lee, who has been with 343 since 2008, decided to, quote, step back from Infinite and look at future opportunities. This is I don't know how much impact this is actually going to have, because I would imagine that the game is pretty much done at this point. The fact that they brought in two people to basically run each aspect of the game, in some ways kind of cutting his knees out, probably led a lot to this decision. He's not the first major 343 studio head to leave during the development of Infinite. It's never a good thing when a game loses their director, but this late in the process, I don't know if this is going to be hugely impactful.
I agree. This game is probably, it would be like, no, I don't. No, that's the wrong analogy. But like you said, the game is probably damn near ready, right? I mean, it was originally scheduled to release next week.
Well,
So
I mean, they still haven't confirmed a new release date. They're just like sometime in 2021. I don't know, like it feels like, given that we had like gameplay reveal come out and fan reaction to the gameplay reveal was not great. I wonder how much of an overhaul they're going to give to the gameplay to try and meet fan expectation for this game.
was it the gameplay or just the way it looks?
Nah.
Like it looks like it plays like Halo. I think the thing that people were kind of like underwhelmed by, you're touting
Graphics.
the most powerful system ever,
Yeah.
right? And it looks like Halo 1. And
Yeah.
it gives you that feeling that you had when you jumped on Halo 1. And I don't the way the thing looks, I mean, I'd have to see it on like a decent like screen
Hmm.
but I don't know what kind of like it looks like it plays like Halo, and from what they're saying, it's gonna be open world Halo. I mean, maybe that's where the whole the power of the system comes in, but maybe you're right. Maybe we'll get like a graphical overhaul of this thing.
Yeah.
D- okay, all right.
I don't know.
I mean, thank God you have all those fantastic games with Golden. Like Aragami. Otherwise, you'd really be screwed if you were buying an Xbox Series X. I mean, there's always all the Xbox One games that'll run really well. So, this week's edition of Democrats Fucking Get It, the Joe Biden campaign has made a Fortnite map.
No malarkey station. None malarkey.
If you go to they made this in creator mode or creative mode. It's called the Build Back Better with Biden map. If you check out the map, there's 6 challenges that'll help promote the Biden campaign's Build Back Better policy agenda. There's ice cream slides that you can slide down. You can find Kamala Harris's sneakers around the city. They said there's about 20 to 30 minutes of content on the map. The Biden family dogs, Champ and Major, have their own homes set up as well in the map as well. Make sure you don your character with a sweet pair of aviators when you go to check out the Biden map, though. Look, hot on the heels of fucking the Biden Animal Crossing Island and AOC playing Among Us on Twitch.
Right.
And Democrats fucking know how to get out the young voter, at least try to. So.
Yeah.
And they're doing it in a way that isn't like super fucking cringy.
No, this is not Pokemon Go to the polls.
Right? Like this is such a step up from 4 years ago. Yeah, it's I don't know, like the Animal Crossing yard signs that you can put up that they released and whatnot, like, it's on trend. And it speaks to a younger generation in a way that doesn't necessarily feel like ham-fisted pandering, like, so I don't know. Hey, good for them. Hopefully it works, right? Like, I don't feel great about this week, guys. I'm gonna be real with you.
Nor should you.
Yeah.
I'm ready to quit my day job and go live in the woods as a bog witch. So
I'm staying the furthest thing from woods as I possibly can.
Okay, you see, I'm white.
Exactly.
So.
That was my point. Did we do all the stories?
That's it.
That's the
That's
stories.
it. The word Amazon means many different things to many different people. Amazon could mean a tribe of warrior women from Greek mythology. It could mean a rainforest in South America. It can be a line of comics that just kind of squished Marvel and DC characters together for some strange reason. Or it could be a multinational technology company that's going to rule us all. And we here at Dense Pixels like to think that we welcome our corporate overlords. And we urge you to go to densepixels.com/Amazon for all of your Amazon purchases. When you go there and you pay fealty to the Bezos, it won't cost you anything extra, and you will be helping us out. Go to densepixels.com/Amazon and pay fealty to the Bezos.
Like I said, he's got enough money. Give some to us. There's no headline story this week, so we take it to the Dense Pixels post office. We start with Matthew, former colleague of mine. What's up, Matthew? Do you see home consoles eventually becoming more modular so that upgrades become more frequent and more people paying more for the upgrades? Like instead of $500 once every 5 to 7 years, Sony and Microsoft put out upgrades for specific portions of consoles for $100 here, $200 there, essentially making them PCs.
Like a PC. So
yeah,
on one hand, like maybe. On the other hand, I feel like $100 here, $200 there is like way lowballing the cost of these potential upgrades. Like knowing how much getting a new graphics card for my PC costs or getting a new processor for my PC costs. I don't know that they would be able to stay profitable if it was $100 here, $200 there. That's why I think you have these, once every 5 to 7 years, you have a $500 or $600 console, because they can take that initial loss on hardware for the sake of getting the software out for the next gen and make their money there. I don't know. I feel like if you want a PC, just fucking buy a PC or build a PC. It's not that hard. Like,
well, and here's the other reason that I don't think that you're going to see this come to the console market. This has been tried before in the console market. We literally 30 years ago had the Sega Genesis, the Sega CD, and the Sega
32X.
Well, like those were exactly what you are.
Yeah, I mean that's it
for your console, and they fucking tanked.
Yeah,
because the problem is
to be fair, the 32X was also like $300 fucking dollars.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Sega owns a lot of blame there. But the problem is that there's a lot of pitfalls when you're putting out modular upgrades. The first one is price, as Carrie mentioned. The second one is adoptability, and marketing is very difficult around that as well. And the third part is design. Like unless you want to make the system into like a Genesis-like mother unit, which it was with the Sega CD and the 32X, you have to design them with the ability to do these upgrades in mind. And if you want them to appeal to a general consumer, you have to basically make it plug and play. Otherwise, they would just buy a fucking PC, as Carrie alluded to. So no, I don't see this happening. And I don't know that it makes sense, because Sony can just come out with the PS5 Pro one day, repackage the console, and sell it to you again for $500, and you're going to get a significant amount of PS5 day one adopters that
upgrade.
Will absolutely upgrade to that console.
I mean, that's
I'm looking at one of them.
That's
two of them.
that's it, right? It's people who want an easy modular, I'm just going to upgrade this, that, or the other kind of experience, will just fucking build a PC. Like, consoles still exist because the general populace doesn't want to fuck with that.
Mm-hmm. Even the enthusiast populace doesn't want to fuck with that. You think I feel like opening up a PC and buying a $700 graphics card just so I can run this shit better? Absolutely fucking not.
No.
Make it as easy as I can for me.
Yeah.
Just give me the thing I can plug in and go. Eric says, favorite video game theme song, such as Indestructible.
Like a title song?
Street Fighter 4, yeah. There's only one correct answer here, for me, at least.
There's a ton.
There's a lot of options, but as far as the far and away favorite one for me, it's Snake Eater. It's got it.
Yeah, that was one
you know
of
what?
them.
Yeah, I can fuck with Snake Eater. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I will say it just because I've played the song a lot recently because it's featured in upcoming Baltimore Gamers Symphony Orchestra concert. Motherfucking Live and Learn from Sonic Adventure 2. That game, like that song is the epitome of Sonic butt rock. And I have learned to love it very unironically.
Are you trying to get me to tune into this concert when you guys air it, or what?
Look, that game, like it's a fun song to play. Like I played guitar on our recording of it rather than bass, and it's a really fun song to play. Tore up my fucking fingies playing it though.
Micah.
There are a ton, man. I'm looking at my jogging playlist because that's the kind of dork I am.
While Mike is looking at that, I will throw a nod into my favorite orchestral. There you go.
Was that Double Dragon?
Yeah, it's Double Dragon. Of course it is. When I'm out there jogging, me and my pretend brother, we gotta go save my girl, and then I gotta go beat his ass to be with her at the end of my run.
The Double Dragon song is great. The fucking the main song from River City Ransom is also up there for me.
Yeah, man.
I was gonna say Chrono Trigger is probably my favorite RPG opening theme.
Any Castlevania song, like literally.
Vampire
any
Killer's
Castlevania.
great. Bloody Tears is also great.
Song, though? Like, would you consider?
I would not consider Vampire Killer it's not the Castlevania theme song.
It's not. Yeah,
I'm talking about opening credits, like, you know, or start screen. I feel like for a theme song, that's what you got to go with. I feel Mega Man 2 strong contender.
Mega Man 2 and 3 are both.
3.
I think I prefer 3's title theme a little better. Two overall as a soundtrack, Mega Man 2 beats out 3 easy. 3 has the better title theme because it's got that like fucking bop of like a disco beat underneath it.
It does also lure you in more than the Mega Man 2. Like the Mega Man 2 theme song intentionally builds to a crescendo, whereas the 3 one is kind of lazy to start and then it kind of fucking smacks you in the face out of nowhere. You gotta hold it to the mic.
This is like a little guitar solo. Oh, it's so good.
Eric derailed the podcast accidentally with
I know how to play this too on guitar. And it fucking hits you. This is it. This wins. This is the best one.
Eric also mentioned Indestructible, which again, as corny as that fucking song
I love that song, man.
A fucking bop, as Carrie was.
I love that song, man. You say whatever you want about that song. I love it.
Holy shit. Great question.
Video game music is good.
Henry says, which is the worst Ninja Gaiden sequel? All games in play. Micah, this is probably a question best suited for you since Terrence.
No, this is best suited for Terrence. I can't play those games. I never could play those games. I never could play them. All the 8-bit ones. The more modern Ninja Gaidens, I didn't finish any of them. And one of them, if you put it on easy or if you die too many times, they shame you. And Ayane from Dead or Alive comes in and says, and she dresses you down and is like, here, since you're not enough of a man to play this game, how about you wear this purple ribbon around your wrist to remind you that you're just a little baby and you can't play this game. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't need this. Get out of here. Just get out of here. Yeah, they were all hard for me, man. Every single one of them.
Well, they were fucking hard ass games.
Mm-hmm.
What they're known for. Will says best RPG or other genre game to play on iPhone.
Stardew Valley.
Yeah, I mean, the best phone games to me are ones that don't have any, like that are
Movement.
almost completely turn-based, that don't have a lot of real-time
Mm.
aspects to them. Just because it's not, I don't, the screen real estate, even on larger iPhones, to me is not comfortable enough to play anything that requires, constant controlling.
Yeah.
I play Marvel Strike Force, which is a turn-based game. DC Legends, which is the same thing but with DC paint on it, and Star Wars Galaxies, which is the same thing with a Star Wars coat of paint on it. And I've been playing them for literally years. They're free to play. They're free to play games, but they try to get you with, hey, don't you want to buy this for some outrageous price? To which I say, no, game, I really don't. Like, you're just a time killer to me. So yeah, there are a few out there, but none that are like, I don't know of any that are really good that you could just buy once and just be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
Not RPGs anyway.
Yeah. Leonardo says, since EA leaked another 10 out of 10 Star Wars video game that they're working on, what do you think this genre will be? I didn't catch this story. I only caught a glimpse of it. I would have to imagine that it's probably some kind of an action adventure game, just because that's gonna probably head back in that direction.
Yeah, I'm looking at a story now. It says a new Star Wars game is leaked courtesy of EA Motive, and while the leak provides little details, it does confirm a new Star Wars action game is in development. So it's an action game.
There you
go. I would love an RPG. I would love a KOTOR top to bottom remake. Am I going to get one? No.
No. Probably not.
No.
Cam says, I'm sure you guys are covering the forthcoming N7 Day announcement and what your guesses for it are. We're actually not. We're doing it now. But moving forward, do you think the probability to be... Cam had a Rashawn moment here. But moving forward, do you think the probably to be announced... probable announced trilogy remaster needs to sell really well for us to get a new Mass Effect game? And either way, what would you all like to see from a new Mass Effect? So, so there's a bunch of the cast from the game is apparently reuniting for some kind of an event on N7 Day. Most people assume it's the finally official announcement of the long-rumored trilogy remaster, which will be nice to have an eventful N7 Day for the first time in like a decade. Pretty fucking dope. I don't think the remaster needs to sell like bonkers good to get a new Mass Effect game. I would hope that EA understands the reasons that Andromeda was a commercial flop.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of which has more to do with the rushed development and the fact that it just wasn't good at launch. Like, it had a lot of bad word of mouth when the game released because of technical issues. And I think that they understand that that's a series that there's still plenty of money in. I mean, Mass Effect 2 and 3 are among the most successful games of the PS3 360 console generation from a sales standpoint. So there's definitely still water in that well. Far as what I'd like to see for a new Mass Effect game, it's tough, man. It's tough because we thought that they had it right by kind of divorcing themselves from the Milky Way galaxy, and that turned out not to be the case. I still think that could work, but I think there has to be more than just a threadbare connection to the events of the original trilogy in order to make that work.
I have no thoughts on any of this, as I have not played any of the Mass Effect games. But if they do a remaster, maybe I might, because there's some hot aliens, and I'm into that.
Yeah.
I think you would like Mass Effect.
Oh, I know I would.
Yeah, it's really good. I would like them to kind of lean back towards the original trilogy and how that game played. I didn't mind the way Andromeda played, but it played like what's their other big franchise? Dragon Age. It played like the newer incarnations of Dragon Age, where your third person camera is pulled back. There's platforming. I don't necessarily want I don't necessarily need that. If you could keep refining the over-the-shoulder cover shooter mechanics and of the original trilogy, like there was something about it that, like, it felt very, especially the later games, it felt very action heavy when you're. I would like to see that, but I would also like to see switching from character to character. Like, if I'm like, instead of giving your characters commands,
Mhm.
I want your characters to be smart enough to kind of fend for themselves. You can still give them commands, but I want to be able to switch on the fly of where I want my characters to be. And it feels like it would probably be a lot more work on the player.
Mhm.
But you know, if I gave my characters commands, like if they were in, like, there were rudimentary cover commands, right? And rudimentary, and like, use this move now, right? Like, I feel like I want the control, basically.
Mhm.
And but yeah, look, just give it to me. Just hurry up. Just say it, right? This is the worst kept secret ever, as I saw someone say. And yeah, look, give me a reason to come here next week wearing my N7 hoodie. That's all I want.
Rashawn says, with Sony stopping the plate station from doing custom panels for the PS5, how long do you think it'll be before Sony has custom plates out, and how much do you think they will overcharge them, since plate station was only charging $40? I completely glossed over this story on the docket. Yeah, Sony basically put a cease and desist first on the name plate station, which, you know, you kind of have.
Yeah.
But then on the product entirely. So the plate station folks are canceling all orders and refunding all money. Good on them. Here's the thing, though. I don't think that plates are inevitable. I think this was a future-proofing move from Sony in the event they did decide to sell them later on. They wanted to make sure.
I think 6 months from now they will have custom plates, and I think they will be $75.
I don't think they'll be that expensive.
I think they'll be $50 max.
50 seems right as far as the price point.
Hmm.
But look, I mean, the fortunate thing with the ones that exist now is that it does seem like at least they're easily customizable yourself if you're brave enough to do such a thing. Not me, but you know, others out there who are brave enough. It seems like it'll be easy to kind of customize it to your heart's content, or maybe someone can make a cottage industry doing something like that on Etsy or something along those lines, where you send them in and they do it for you. I don't know if that takes your PlayStation out of commission for a while.
Yeah. Does that void your warranty?
I'm positive it does.
Have to imagine it does, because I don't think they're designed to. Well, I guess if Sony's going to sell them, they'd have to be designed to come off easily in a non-warranty voiding fashion. I don't know.
I mean, but like, if you like let's say you go out and you get, well, you get a PlayStation, right? Like, in this world where PlayStation is still around, and then you have to send your console in, and they look at this and they see like rainbow plates. They're like, whoa, nah, we're not, this voids your warranty. You think that'll happen? Or do you think I'm just overreacting? I think I'm overreacting.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I said we'll have to watch that teardown video again that Sony put out to see how easy those things come off.
They look pretty easy to come off.
Yeah.
By the way, so it's a big ass clam, yo.
It really is. You know what's funny? Like, when you have it, so I've been watching a few unboxing videos. When you put the stand on it when it's sitting flat, it floats. Like the stand is literally the only point of contact on the base, and the entire rest of the system floats above that, which is wild to me.
Are you leaning yours? Are you horizontal or vertical?
Oh, it's vertical. Like I said, I've got a shelf down below me to my left that has room. It's designed to be for a PC tower. So, so this console will fit nicely into the place that a PC tower is supposed to occupy on my desk.
Okay.
So, Johnny says, "Do you know Texas?" Gary Hart does.
Yo,
I don't.
This clip is amazing.
I hope we know Texas after tomorrow. That's all I'm gonna say. Look, let me tell you this: if you are watching the Look Forward live stream with me and Jay, if somehow there is a final call on the state of Texas and it goes blue, all I'm going to say is you are going to want to be there to witness, to bear witness to that celebration. Let's see here. Malcolm asks, to quote Time Limit Draw, are Melina and Johnny Flamingo the same race? I have no idea. No clue. Amir says, what's the next video game to get the Netflix green light?
Some Tom Clancy bullshit.
Probably.
Yeah, Ubisoft desperately wants to get in the movie business, man. They really do. And all of their franchises, all of their major franchises, their big money makers are they're apt for it, right? I can easily see Far Cry being a show, right? They already got Giancarlo Esposito. They already got a really good actor to be in their video game. I'm sure they can sell their video game idea to be a television show. If they're putting if they're making Assassin's Creed into a television show, you can damn sure get some bullshit ass military shit. That's nothing.
Right.
And and Watch Dogs, I think, would be a good. I mean, look at it would be a decent, not decent, but like it's ripe for the Netflix treatment of a cyberpunk world. Look at Altered Carbon and what they butchered that book with, right? So, yeah, any Ubisoft property, any other Ubisoft property will probably make it to Netflix.
I'm going to go with a out of left field prediction. That's completely banking on this game blowing up. Bugsnax.
That's it. That's the one.
We'll see. And Ricky is just waiting on Destiny. Again, everything they're doing looks cool.
Are you into this? Are you into Destiny? Like do you have a schedule of when you will get back to Destiny?
Oh no, I don't. Like I mentioned a couple weeks ago on the podcast, I don't know if I truly can, just because that game does take such a time commitment to kind of immerse yourself into what you're doing. And I'm still following along with the game. Like the things they're doing seems cool. The new campaign that they're rolling out seems fun, and the direction that the story is headed in is the most interesting that Destiny has been in its 6-year history so far. But it's just tough, man. It's tough to, and I've also really been enjoying experiencing other games. I feel like that I neglected a lot of games when I was like playing Destiny pretty much exclusively for a long time, and it's been nice kind of getting back to those other games and playing those as well. So I'm sure there will be a time that comes along, or maybe I'll try to just discipline myself to just kind of log in and blow through the campaigns and just not do leveling, not grind anything out.
That's all they need. That's all they need. Oh, just log in.
Yeah.
Just log in.
But I'm a part of me is feels like I'm missing out by not. I mean, that shit comes out next week. Like, it's super exciting. Maybe
really?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. The Beyond Light comes out next Tuesday. I don't know. Maybe when the PS5 upgrade comes out late this year or early next year. Maybe curiosity will probably get the better of me. I at least will have to log in to see what Destiny looks like in 4K 60. Right?
Hey,
that's
all they need. That's all they need. Hey, just log in. Come see what you've been missing.
Right. So yeah. That is it. Thank you guys for submitting questions to the post office and sufficiently distracting us and putting us at ease for at least the last half hour or so here. Again, Carrie's Extra Life is in its last week of donations. Go to densepixels.com/fans to join the fan group to find out information or check out the show notes for this episode. You can follow Carrie on Twitch as well at SupIt'sCarrie. I am Dense Pixels Brad. Terrence is Apparition 410.
Also, don't forget, mentioned earlier, the BGSO virtual concert, which is free. We've set a date for that. That is December 16th. I'm happy to share games featured on the set list include Earthbound, Chrono Trigger, Ocarina of Time, Persona 4, Kingdom Hearts, ARMS, Mario Odyssey, The Last of Us, Stardew Valley, and some other stuff. So,
if you want to reward Carrie's efforts, the thing that's kept her away from the pod for the last several weeks.
I've been working real hard to arrange most of the music and do all of the video editing. So
there's that as well. Again, subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube by going to youtube.com/densepixels. And if you are listening to this on Tuesday and you have not done so already, please. That's it. See you guys next time.
see ya.
See you.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.